And lastly, for me, champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
It almost went down. Right there. Cameras rolling. Moments after Terence "Bud" Crawford shocked the world by defeating Canelo Alvarez, chaos nearly erupted between him and Floyd "Money" Mayweather. Security rushed forward. Members of both camps started jawing. For a split second, it looked like boxing's former king and its new ruler were about to collide in the same ring. No punches landed, but the stare down said everything. Floyd Mayweather, the icon of the previous era, locked eyes with Crawford, the man many now call the best of this generation. And it left fans wondering, was this genuine tension? Or was Floyd manufacturing drama to pull the spotlight back his way? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. After Bud beat Canelo, a growing number of voices began saying something once unthinkable, that Crawford's legacy may now eclipse Floyd's. And that's where the real heat started.
You see all these fighters, they doing the shoulder roll? You see, I mean, yeah. And not knocking the guys that paved the way. And I want to come on record and say, I'm appreciative for guys like Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard. So many guys that paved the way for me. But there's only one Floyd Mayweather. These fighters are not better than me. You look at the numbers, they say, oh, Canelo may end up beating more world champions than Floyd Mayweather. Well, he should. With almost, 80 and 90 fights, he should. I beat more world champions than any fighter in history. I'm 50-0, but half of my fights was world title fights.
For years, Floyd ruled the pound-for-pound conversation. He crowned himself TB, the best ever, and backed it up with a flawless 50-0 record. Wins over Manny Pacquiao, Miguel Cotto, Canelo Alvarez, and Oscar de la Hoya cemented his place in history. Untouched, unbeaten, untested in defeat. But then Crawford flipped the narrative.
Like, if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, then I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time.
Oh, yes.
Bud is now a 3-time undisputed champion, still undefeated, a 5-division world champion. And unlike the whispers that followed Floyd, claims of strategic timing and careful matchmaking, Crawford just stepped into the ring with the face of boxing in his prime division and won. No shortcuts, no waiting, no hesitation.
Half of the fight put an emphasis on the fact that Bud was in fact outboxing him in the first half of the fight. It is one of the biggest wins in boxing history. And now let Uncle Max gather around, children, and I will explain this. This is the situation, guys. No one has ever been a 4-division champion in boxing. Not a real one. Oh, Pacquiao won 8 and Oscar de la Hoya won 11 and this one won 15. No, I'm talking about Ring Magazine champ or lineal champ. You are the champion of that division.
Get them all.
Forever, the record was 3 by Henry Armstrong. Manny Pacquiao was the first dude to really win 4. Floyd gets credit for 4 for beating Canelo, but that wasn't at the junior middleweight limit. I don't count that. I don't count that. Terence Crawford just joined Manny Pacquiao as the only legit 4-division champion in the history of boxing.
Even analysts pointed it out. Floyd was brilliant, but selective. Crawford? He's chased the biggest names available. That difference matters to fans who value risk as much as results.
Or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can knock him as well. You know, he's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, you know, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
On paper, both resumes are elite. Both men are generational talents. But when it comes to daring moves, Crawford's willingness to jump into danger has the boxing world buzzing. And that buzz is getting louder by the day.
Favorite, Canelo or Crawford?
Canelo. Canelo.
What do you think is the most significant part of that matchup in Canelo versus Crawford?
That he's comfortable at 168. You know, that he's been fighting there. He went and collected all the belts at that weight class. Crawford, of course, Crawford has a chance. He has a big chance, you know, being one of the pound-for-pound fighters of the world. But it's just the advantage of being there first. You know what to expect in that weight class. Crawford's coming off a 154 fight that he fought last year. So I really don't consider him even a 154. He's been fighting at 147 for a while. He had that one fight at 154, and then he stopped fighting for a year again. So, you know, of course he's probably been training, you know, again, high-class fighter. But to be comfortable at 168, you're going to have to do some fights in there. And going in there fighting the undisputed champion, it's going to take a toll.
To understand why emotions are boiling over, rewind to fight night against Canelo. Heading in, critics said Crawford was too small, taking a reckless gamble.
The fight, the Crawford-Canelo fight, and you had a Cavs hat on. This time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. GOAT. Greatest of all time, man. You got to give it to him. You got to give it to him. You got to give it to his coaches. Not just me, Saul Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists. You know, everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
Moving up 2 weight classes to face a natural 168-pound powerhouse like Canelo Alvarez sounded borderline crazy. But Bud didn't just hang in there, he controlled the action. He moved sharply, snapped the jab, countered with precision, and slowly dismantled Canelo round by round. Yes, Canelo landed heavy body shots. But they didn't shift the momentum. By the middle rounds, Crawford was standing in the pocket and winning exchanges. When the final bell rang, the decision was unanimous. And with that victory, Crawford etched his name into history as the first fighter to become undisputed champion in 3 separate weight classes.
You know, I didn't have to have 70 fights or 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
In doing so, he accomplished something Floyd never attempted, defeating a naturally bigger champion at his own weight. That's the core of the debate. Floyd has always mastered perception. He built an empire on perfection and branding. Money wasn't just a nickname, it was a strategy.
How are you feeling to be Chris Eubank's trainer, first of all?
It feels good, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been this trainer before, so...
Yeah, it's good.
It's a no-brainer.
Of course. Congratulations on the win. What's your first reactions to Crawford's victory? One of the greats of this era, right?
Oh, definitely that. You know that.
What do you want to see him do now?
What I want to do now?
What do you want to see Crawford do next?
Truth is, do what he at this point now in his career where he could do whatever he wanted to do.
Who would you like to see him fight? Any names? Is there any names in particular you'd like to see?
It doesn't matter.
What about Canelo? Would you like to see him retire?
I don't. Canelo's not my responsibility.
Okay.
But now the spotlight has shifted. Crawford is being crowned the new pound-for-pound king. Analysts are openly comparing him to Floyd. Some are even placing him above. And suddenly, Floyd appears at the post-fight scene, throwing subtle jabs, questioning the quality of the win instead of praising it. Many believe he felt the spotlight slipping and tried to reclaim it. Because Bud's victory over Canelo wasn't just a win. It was a statement. Here's the reality: Crawford doesn't need Floyd. Throughout his career, Bud has shown respect to Mayweather. He's acknowledged Floyd's greatness. He's even trained around him before. There was no hostility coming from Crawford's side.
Like, why would he try to diminish your career? Because at that time, I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't want to bring up mine. But it was somehow that they were saying that I was messing with his daughter off of the fact that she kept.
But instead of celebrating history being made, Floyd downplayed it. He suggested Canelo was an elite, rather than crediting Crawford's achievement. Fans have seen this pattern before. When Gervonta "Tank" Davis began carving his own lane, Floyd's support shifted into competition for attention. It's a familiar script. If a rising star threatens the throne, redirect the narrative.
That Terence fought a virtuoso fight. Terence never let Canelo get into a rhythm. Terence never allowed Canelo to get anything going, and I didn't think he could do it for 12 rounds. I thought that the first 3 or 4 rounds were going to be difficult for Canelo for that reason, but Terence was able to do it for 12 rounds, and in the later part of the fight, he kind of pushed the fight more than I think people expected, which is the mark of a superstar, man.
That's why so many fans label this moment as jealousy. Crawford wasn't attacking Floyd's legacy. He was building his own. But the idea that someone else might now be carrying boxing's torch clearly struck a nerve.
For the fighter of the decade, I'm the fighter of the last century, honestly. and it's a reason why I'm the best fighter in the last 100 years. The credentials show it. And I went out there and showed it. What's better than going out there, being world champion for what, 20 years? Box office, I got the record. Pay-per-view, I got the record. It's better to win 5 world titles than 4 at one particular time.
And it's not just about belts. The Canelo fight wasn't only historic, it was massive commercially. The stadium sold out. Millions streamed the bout worldwide. It became one of the most watched fights in decades.
I thought Terence fought a virtuoso fight. Terence never let Canelo get into a rhythm. Terence never allowed Canelo to get anything going, and I didn't think he could do it for 12 rounds. I thought that the first 3 or 4 rounds were going to be difficult for Canelo for that reason, but Terence was able to do it for 12 rounds, and in the later part of the fight, he kind of pushed the fight more than I think people expected, which is the mark of a superstar, man.
Crawford has proven he can headline. He can sell. He can draw global attention. He's not just the best in the ring, he's becoming a box office force.
Why were you so emotional afterward? Is it that you just realized everything that you achieved, the moment just hit you then?
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's just, the history, behind the sport is just everything that, I trained for my whole life. It all was, coming out that one night. That was all paying off. You have a lot of people that, adopted this narrative that Terence Crawford can't sell, Terence Crawford is not marketable, and they push the narrative to the public, and that's all people write about. Oh, Terence Crawford can't do this, Terence Crawford can't do that. But anyone in Terence Crawford fights, you see a sold out crowd, but they wasn't talking about that. They was talking about how, marketable I'm not, and that kind of was hurting my career because, a lot of people was looking at me and said, oh yeah, they said he's not marketable. Oh, they said he's not, don't have a personality, things like that, because I didn't want to do things their way. I didn't want to put on a show. I didn't want to disrespect my opponents when they wasn't disrespecting me. Right. I wasn't, I'm not a guy that, wear jewelry for no reason. Just the things that I didn't want to do that they wanted me to do. They go out there and say, oh, well, they lost money on me. It's just crazy though to see me headline, not one of the largest attending fight in American history. In American history.
And that may be what unsettles Floyd the most. Because Bud isn't just dominating opponents, he's commanding attention. For Floyd, stirring controversy means staying relevant. Since retirement, he's taken exhibition bouts against influencers, kickboxers, and MMA fighters. They generated money, but not legacy. A showdown with Crawford? That would be different. Undefeated legend versus undefeated king. Old era versus new era. TBE versus the man some now believe has surpassed him. That's $1 billion storyline.
But I know how you is. You be sizing niggas up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever keep it real, bud, keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fight. I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll be this.
Boy, you capping, bro. I never thought like fantasy fight me versus Floyd, nah.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, man, I'll beat his ass. Never. That's some hating type shit to me.
Like plotting.
I ain't never been that type of person ever.
But here's the twist. Crawford doesn't seem interested. He's consistently spoken respectfully about Floyd. And realistically, fighting a 48-year-old retired icon does nothing for his legacy. If Bud wins, critics say Floyd was past his prime. If Floyd somehow wins, the result would be endlessly debated. Either way, it doesn't elevate Crawford's accomplishments. For Bud, the mission is about legacy, not nostalgia.
4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you? Keyshawn beat Tank?
Keyshawn beat everybody. Him and Shakur.
How you feel about them not fighting each other? That's cool?
Yeah, that's cool. They don't need to fight each other.
Was there anybody ever...
They can beat up everybody else.
Was there anybody ever like that in boxing with you? Because not really Sean Porter, right?
Nope.
No friends in this business for you.
I think Tim Bradley would have been like that.
Okay.
I think me and Tim Bradley would have been like that. I wouldn't have fought Tim.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you wouldn't, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But
Floyd, yeah, because I wasn't as close. Me and Floyd close now, but when Floyd was boxing, I wasn't as close with Floyd like I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore, so that fight ain't gonna happen.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you?
I think you got your answer there.
Nah, I didn't hear nothing. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta Davis.
I beat your ass?
Okay, that's a no. That's a no.
So what do you think? Was that near clash real tension or calculated controversy? Has Crawford truly surpassed Mayweather's legacy? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love boxing drama at its highest level, make sure you like and subscribe.